gosh. Oh my gosh. Remember back in the day where you had to eat your dinner?
Oh, yeah. You couldn't even get up
No.
from the table?
No, nothing.
What about
Eat your dinner.
Eat your dinner.
We are the Sassy Silver Sisters.
All right. So, back in the day, can you remember back that far?
I don't know. I'm getting there. Look at the hair. Okay.
Back in the day, what do I remember? I'm 10 years older than Kelly. I remember I got in trouble at the dinner table all the time.
Because you didn't want to eat.
Well, I didn't eat a lot, but one specific instance was I couldn't eat peas.
Oh, you and peas.
I gagged.
Yeah. Me
And
and
I
green
got in
beans.
trouble for
Yeah. For
You
doing
too?
that?
Yeah, you too?
Well, I had to leave the table with food in my mouth and go spit it out.
That's where my son gets it from. Anyway, we'll go back to that later. But back in the day, I got in trouble for that at the dinner table. I got in trouble for, I spill everything.
Yeah.
I've spilled stuff here today. So this is what I do.
That's funny.
Yeah. But I didn't eat a lot. And I was really, really, really like this skinny. But yeah, that was the main thing was that's when I was little. As a teenager, one specific thing at the dinner table, dad on one end, mom on the other end, the kids, mom served hamburgers on a plate. Everything was on the plate, separated, right? Hamburgers, your vegetables. And I saw a video the other day where the person had their bread stacked high, just loaf bread, but it was stacked on a plate,
Yeah?
which reminded me of
That's the way Mom would do it?
Yes.
I don't remember.
Yes. So, the bread, of course, your butter and salt and pepper and all that. But this particular time, Mom had hamburger patties, and I was lucky enough to sit beside Dad. Dad's on the end. So I'm going. I love hamburgers. So I grabbed my hamburger and whatever, and then I said, I'm going to make a sandwich. And he got, no, you're not.
Why?
You eat it as it's served. It was not served. He was Marine. It was not served as a sandwich.
What?
And I know Mom didn't care, but she didn't say nothing. But I'm a teenager, and I'm going, huh?
Yeah, what's that?
Yeah. So I had to figure it out, and I did.
You got your piece of bread.
I got my bread.
Yeah.
I had my hamburger.
Yeah.
And I had my dab of ketchup and my dab of mustard. And so I cut the hamburger and I dip it in that stuff. And
eat your bread.
and eat my bread.
That's crazy.
You didn't argue with Dad. He
Right.
didn't,
No arguing.
Although I tried several times.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So what do you remember at little?
When I was
at the-
little, and I still don't to this day, I like green beans.
Oh, really?
I like
Even
them.
fresh out of the garden?
I'll eat them. I'll eat them fresh out of the garden. Like, not
Raw,
even.
raw.
Just raw.
Oh,
or
okay.
steamed. But I don't like canned. I don't. I just don't. I will eat them in stews and soups and stuff like that. And I serve them at home probably once a week. And I eat maybe a couple.
Right.
But only because everybody else is eating it. And I
Right,
need to make a
right.
good example and that
Yeah.
kind of thing. It doesn't matter at this point. Dorian won't eat anything other than a few things.
Right.
But I remember one time they had green beans and they made me eat them. And
Who made you eat them?
somebody did.
Oh, okay. At the table.
I
You
was
remember
little.
at the dinner table.
I was little because I was under 7 years old because this is
Okay.
before Dad died.
Okay.
And so I'm eating these green beans and I'm not swallowing them. I just
Oh.
put them in my mouth, and then I went out into the bushes and spit them up.
You went outside?
Yeah, I went outside. I don't
Out
even
the
know.
back door. Had to be out the back door.
No, it was a front because there was bushes in the front or something. So I threw them up into the yeah. No, I couldn't eat. I still can't eat. There's just some things about greens.
Yeah.
But when Mom married Dan,
Okay.
for whatever reason, well, okay, Mom always said she had kind of two separate families, sort of thing, because there's quite a few years between me and Terry.
Right.
So there was like these 4 skinny kids, and then I come along and Randy, and we were big fat little children, and we liked to eat, and these guys didn't like to eat. And she said, I didn't know how to deal with you kids because we didn't want to stop eating, right?
Right.
So anyway, we like milk,
I like milk.
but she would give
It's
it
gotta
to
be
us
cold,
at
though.
dinner. But we would drink our milk first, and we'd want more, and then it was like we wouldn't eat our dinner. And I just remember this. She said, you are not getting any more milk because you will not eat your dinner. I remember that.
Oh yeah.
Because it fills you
yeah.
up.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah.
We didn't have problems another thing is Mom served liver and onions, and she would make us eat them, and I would die every time
Yes.
she would make them. Now Randy loved it. Randy
really?
loved it. I couldn't stand liver and onions.
Not when I was little, but I could tolerate
I
it
cannot
later
do it now.
because I had to
No.
feed the kids liver because they
they-
were anemic, and I just couldn't figure it out.
Spinach has a lot of iron in it.
So I read that if you cook, because no internet back then, if you cooked out of a cast iron skillet, you would get more iron, and that
Oh.
worked.
Oh.
Well, plus, once a week or every other week, they'd have to have a little bit of liver. Their dad loved it. I learned to like it, but I don't know about now because I haven't had it in a long time. But yeah, but I don't remember any problems with you at the dinner table, but I remember problems with Randy because he wouldn't sit still. Here we're
That's
eating
Dorian.
dinner and he was running around the table.
That's Dorian now.
Oh, really?
Oh, it's terrible.
And Mom didn't care because he stayed with us and he'd sit down and he'd get up and run around the table.
Right.
And sit down, get up, and run around the
Right.
table. And it just became a thing. It didn't bother me. I didn't care, But, yeah. So, and then we'd get into discussions at the dinner table because me being a teenager and Dad being a Marine
Yeah, it doesn't
and the
mix.
protest at the time
Oh, yeah,
was very, it was all hot and heavy,
yeah.
and with him being a Marine,
Right.
And I'm being I'm saying things like free speech,
Right.
and he's going, you don't like it, leave.
Right,
And it was like
exactly.
a little heat
Their
there.
tension.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, dinner table's always fun.
Yeah.
Then
You start having children, you have your own.
yeah, and then it changes. So when I had my kids, I remember Melanie saying, "Oh no, not another family dinner,"
Oh, that's funny.
because she always got in trouble.
Oh, yeah. That's
So
sad.
I'd try to have
So,
family
yeah.
dinners instead of everybody sitting in the living room with a
Right.
plate.
Yeah.
And so she would get in trouble all the
Right.
time for whatever she would get in trouble.
Right.
So, but my kids did pretty good as far as that goes. They were kind of, they had certain foods that they didn't like. Now, I did they only had a spoonful of
I
stuff.
know.
You're going to sit here until you eat it.
Right. Yeah.
Well, then the next day I find food on the ceiling,
Oh no.
or they'd get up and leave because their plate was empty, but their food was under the plate.
No, no.
Food was on the floor.
That's funny.
The bigger kids put their food on Melanie's plate.
Oh,
And
that's
I-
so mean.
And I said, "You're the reason."
Wow. That's mean.
And then my son, I am not kidding you, Kelly. It was like going through the airport security. I
Checking the
found out my son was spitting his food out in the bathroom. I'm going, no wonder he has to go to the bathroom in the middle of every meal.
Yeah.
So first it was he did the mouth thing
Yeah.
and then spit it out.
Right.
I said, okay. Well, then he had to go to the bathroom, and I said, we got in trouble for it. So then I said, he had to go to the bathroom, and I'm going, let me see your mouth. I had to inspect his mouth, make sure he didn't have no food.
Right.
Well, then I'd see food in the trash can. Well, what in the heck are you doing? Come to find out, this kid, he kept trying to beat the system. So he put his mashed potatoes in his pocket because he didn't want to eat them. Then he'd take them out of his pocket, and we had a broken toilet paper holder that had a hole about.
No.
Yes.
Wow, that's disgusting.
Stop it, because he kept getting caught because it was
Oh, my
either
gosh.
in the sink, in
That's
the trash can, or
hilarious.
the toilet.
Oh, my gosh.
Well, he had to hide it somehow, so he started sticking it in the wall.
That's terrible.
Then I had to make sure that I had to inspect his mouth and all his pockets
Oh, my
before he
gosh.
went to the bathroom.
That's terrible. Yeah, we had that problem with Cynthia.
Oh, did you?
Well, when we got married, Jay had 2 kids, so they were little. And before we got married, we had gone from his mom's house where he
Right.
was living to his grandparents' house. We were taking the kids on a bike ride, and it was
Okay.
just around the corner.
Right.
So we'd eaten dinner, and we'd gotten to Nanny and Pop's house, and we're visiting, and it's about an hour later, and I
Right.
noticed Cynthia had something in her mouth, and I said, what is in your mouth? And
Really?
she had hamburger for an hour in her mouth.
gross.
Chewing on it. That's just
She
disgusting.
wouldn't swallow
She
it.
would not swallow it.
But you didn't spit it
Well,
out.
she wouldn't spit it out.
Okay.
So anyway, we get married, and we have our own little family, and she was the hard one, and she was always the one that was bucking the system. And she was going to the bathroom during dinner. So we
Okay.
figured that out.
Okay.
So then we said, yeah.
It's hard to say, no, you can't go to the bathroom. I mean, really. It's
Yeah,
hard
but
to
we
say
figured
that.
it out.
Okay.
So we said, you have to sit here until you finish your dinner.
Right.
So she'd sit there because she's ornery.
Yeah.
And would sit there for an hour. Right?
Right. My kids would too.
So anyway, now we have our daughter and her son living with us, and he's 4, and now he started this weird thing where he did what Randy did. As soon as dinner hit, he got the burst of energy. And he'd just go round and around, and we'd say, sit down, you need to sit down.
Right.
You know. So anyway, we'd finally get him to sit down, and you have to essentially threaten the kid.
Right.
But Taylor's idea is, okay, if you don't eat your dinner, you don't get any of your electronics. He's 4 years old.
I know. But
You
they're
don't-
born with the brain for
You don't-
electronics.
You don't get any of it. You don't get to
Yeah.
watch TV, anything
Oh.
until you've eaten your dinner.
Right.
And pretty much
That works.
It works.
Yeah.
It's still a struggle at night, but
Well, he's little still, though.
and he has he doesn't want to try new things, and it's just
Yeah.
fun. You know how kids are when you give them something, you got to try it, you got to taste it or whatever.
Right.
And it's like you can't just like lick it. You have to try it, eat it.
Right.
And then we've done that a couple times recently
I'm still
where she
like
would
that.
make
I refuse.
she would make him try it, and you know what? Most of the time he
He's
likes
fine.
it,
Okay, good.
but he doesn't want to try it.
Oh, he's scared, probably.
I don't know. It's a control issue mainly.
Oh,
But he likes what he likes, and he eats the same things. Kids are like that.
Yeah. Now with the grandkids, by that time you're tired. You don't care
Oh
what
my
they
gosh.
eat,
Yeah.
as long as they eat.
Right.
So instead of, we didn't have, by that time, my grandkids were born, I didn't have the family dinner thing. So I just fixed them what they wanted. And poor Tavia, she didn't want anything except
Chicken nuggets.
chicken nuggets.
I remember that.
Yeah, and so we had to find things for her that would be healthy for her.
Right.
But
But then you found out she had allergies.
they then found out she had allergies, and I'm going, no wonder she doesn't want to eat anything.
Yeah.
So the
They just-
allergies weren't real bad, but when we
It
got
made a
out
difference.
when we got out of the allergy testing, Melanie goes, well, at least she can smoke at least she can have a cup of coffee and smoke a cigarette. Because
she's
they
not
checked
allergic-
off everything.
She's not allergic to coffee or cigarettes.
Yeah,
That's funny.
tobacco.
Oh my gosh,
So,
that's funny.
yeah, but yeah. So, and she's learned. You learn over time what you can tolerate.
I'm taking my glasses off. I'm getting hot.
Yeah. So anyway, so I
Like
don't.
that's gonna make a difference. Taking my glasses off because I'm hot.
Okay.
Okay, whatever works. Yeah, that's me.
But Rhonda, I remember Rhonda at dinner time went around the table and ate everybody's burnt meat crumbs.
Oh, she liked that part.
She liked that part.
Wow.
She says she still does.
Does she really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, we could talk about Rhonda. Because I
We're
have
not
some
going to, though.
stories about her.
No,
her,
Rhonda's funny.
Her eating. Made fun of her.
Oh yeah. Well, this is a dinner time. We're talking about other people. Let's go ahead and talk about poor old Rhonda.
Poor old Rhonda. She's very meticulous on how she does
Yes.
things.
My
And
dad, she took that after Dad because Dad did the mashed potato thing.
Okay.
Rhonda did it too.
Yeah, but she did this butter thing.
Oh, she butters her bread. Oh my God, take her half an hour to butter her bread.
We would be done eating, and she would not be done doing who. All the way around the edges. Nothing
Perfection.
could be left. Oh, you have to have it over. I bet she still does it to this
I
day.
bet she does. We'll find
Sorry,
out.
Rhonda.
Won't we? We're gonna go. We're gonna go eat lunch.
I'm gonna give her a piece of bread and butter. I'm gonna watch her do it. I've watched her do it, and it's like
It's like playing with your food, essentially.
I don't know. It's just
But
hilarious.
but Dad used to do he'd take his mashed potatoes and with his fork. Don't ask me why.
People are OCD about certain things.
And make a design
Yeah, people are OCD
his-
about stuff.
in mashed potatoes.
Well, some
though.
people don't want to eat like I'm okay. I'm eat everything at one time, you know. Or some people want to eat.
Oh, they don't want their food
and they
touching.
don't want touching. They don't want to
No.
eat. They want to eat it. This potatoes, green beans, then the meat, or
Yeah.
whatever. They don't want to mix it up. And
Yeah.
it's like, you know, I'm good.
Well,
with
I don't
mixing.
remember Ricky having any issues because he's like Mommy eats about everything. I don't remember Terry having any issues about food. I'm not sure. I know this was at dinner time. He got in trouble for not feeding and watering the dogs. That was his chore.
Before dinner.
Before dinner,
Okay.
get at the table. Dad asked him,
Did you feed him?
did you feed and water the dogs? And he said, no, I forgot. And he
He said
took
you
his
don't.
drink away.
You don't eat until.
No, he took his drink. Maybe it was just water, but he took his drink away.
don't
He
get
said,
anything.
good, you eat without your drink too.
Ooh, I bet he didn't do it again.
Nope.
See, there's certain things you want to listen. When you're growing up, I believe, and I think it's a good, healthy thing to eat as a family.
I do too. But then the kids, you know.
And I think it's good to teach them that they need to be grateful for what they have on their plate and to eat. And if
Yes.
they don't truly like something, you know, I don't think forcing them to eat something they truly don't like. Like I'll eat green beans. I don't like them. But when I was a kid, I did not like
Right.
them. I hated them. They just
I
made me
couldn't.
get like you and peas.
Oh my God.
You know.
I remember that to this day.
Yeah.
'Cause I got in trouble.
Right. But I think kids
For doing
need
this.
to open their you know, their whatever. What is it called?
How do you know you don't like it until you taste it?
Yeah, I think they
Yeah.
should try it.
But now you got the kids that would not, if you left it to them, they would have pancakes at every meal or Captain Crunch at every meal
Yeah,
or
right.
the sugary stuff.
Well, it's like breakfast every
Yeah.
morning.
They
I gotta
need
have
vegetables.
I've got to have this. you
Yeah.
know.
So they need vegetables.
Vegetables
so
and
you
fruit at
worry
every meal.
about that.
Yeah, every meal,
Yeah.
vegetable and fruit.
But there's ways to get around that. And
Yeah, you make things
you make things
that
that
have it in it.
have it in it, and you don't tell them.
Right, and they just love it, and it's it's delicious, and they're
Yes.
getting the nutrients they
Yes.
need.
Yes. Melanie was doing that for a while with hamburgers for her kids. She learned a trick to grind up vegetables real fine,
And
and you mix it in the
hamburgers.
hamburger like meatloaf,
Right.
like you're making meatloaf.
Right.
Kids loved it.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Good.
So
practice.
there's ways to get around it because you want your kids
Right.
to have natural fiber, this, that, and the other.
Yes.
And of course, you've got some kids that have issues with food, but the parents know. I mean, we didn't know about certain issues back in the day.
Right. That's
Um,
true.
We didn't. I mean, you just knew that your kid needed to eat.
But I think a lot of times, especially like Dorian right now, he's got this control issue. He doesn't
Yeah.
want to relinquish his control. And the doctor told us one time when Taylor was growing up, is that there's three things you cannot control in a child.
Yes.
It's their bowel movements, their
Right.
sleeping habits, and what they eat.
Right.
And you can just
Mom
for the
learned
best.
that about Ricky. When I was born in the hospital, Ricky would only eat peaches and peanut butter sandwich or something like that.
Right.
I don't remember exactly what it was, but that's all he would eat.
Right.
So he was,
Kind of picky that way.
a couple years older than me, but he was little.
Yeah.
And yeah. So she asked the doctor. Doctor said
Let
that
him
you
eat
can't.
it.
Yeah, you can't. If he's happy, leave him alone.
I mean, it's, healthy. It's getting some protein out of the
Yeah.
peanut butter and whatever.
And then like Rhonda's Nicole, as long as she could dip it, she would eat it.
as long as you got dip on the plate.
Yeah, Rhonda learned how to do that one real quick.
That's funny.
Yeah, the vegetables dipping, the fish sticks dipping, the chicken nuggets dipping. Everything had to be dipped.
That's funny. Well, what is your experience with your family when you were growing up, or even with your own children?
Yes.
Did
Your
you
children or your
did
grandchildren.
you make them eat their dinner?
Yeah, back in the day, you had to eat your dinner,
Yeah, that's true.
whether you wanted to or not,
That's true.
or do without. And
And let me tell you something that works.
Uh-oh.
Because if they get up and if they don't want to eat their dinner, you don't get any snacks, you don't get anything.
Right.
And it's not that you're being cruel, it's teaching them. It's like, okay, you're going to go to bed hungry. Well, it's not going to kill them one night. Because
Right.
the next night, they're going to eat their dinner.
Right.
Because that's just
Consistency.
Yes, you have to be consistent.
Well, a lot of people don't believe in family dinners anymore. So, like I did with the grandkids, so you just fix them what you know they'll eat.
Yeah.
And then if they don't want to try it, some kids are curious and they want to try it.
Yeah.
But most kids aren't. Like Dorian, he doesn't want to try it. But that's
His
okay.
hot dog or his chocolate sandwich.
Does he like to dip? Maybe he's a Nicole.
Yeah, he has dip like for, chicken nuggets.
But
or
does he
something.
like to do that?
Well, yeah, we give him that.
I mean,
option.
other things to dip.
Like what?
I don't know. Vegetables, anything to
He
dip.
doesn't eat vegetables. He won't eat vegetables. His
Oh,
vegetables are. He eats a lot of fruit. He's a fruit eater. He
Oh,
likes
it's good. He
all
must
kinds
eat
of
it.
fruit.
Yeah, he must
But
eat
no
it.
veggies. So the only veggie he gets are these pouches that have the veggie and it's like an applesauce, but it's veggies and fruit.
He doesn't know that there's vegetables in
No,
there.
because they're very good. I've tasted it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're good.
Okay. I haven't. No.
Well, yeah, I want to taste what he's getting. So I've tasted it. And he eats yogurt and stuff, so that's a good thing.
Right.
He does, he is who he is. I love him anyway.
So our punishment, I don't think we ever got punished. I don't think I had to sit at the table to finish.
No, the only thing we had
We
to do
just
was
didn't
we
have
went up-
dessert. Dad was a big dessert eater.
Oh, he was?
Yeah. If you didn't finish your meal, you couldn't have dessert.
Oh.
So you had to weigh it.
We sort of do that too, but he doesn't care. But we didn't have a lot of desserts when I was with the kids and stuff. If we
Oh,
had
okay.
anything, we had cookies and stuff if they wanted a cookie.
Mom still does her dessert.
Oh, does she?
I told her she was becoming Grandma Ike.
She got to have some ice cream after
She
dessert.
ate a little bit of dinner. And
that's
as
Grandma.
As soon as she
Grandma.
would put her plate in the, I
She's
think
got-
I need
uh-huh.
something sweet. I
think
think I'll
you sh-
get ice cream.
I think you should have dessert first, honestly, and then eat a little dinner.
What's the fun in that?
Because dessert's good. I like dessert. I make it once in a while. Alrighty then.
Okay, we had fun talking about back in the day.
Back in the day.
Let us know how it was with you growing up and how you did, how it works for your children and grandchildren. Thanks a lot. Hope you enjoyed our little discussion.